costing only $3.50 Canadian. This no-name thin crust pepperoni frozen pizza is the cheapest frozen pizza I could find at the grocery store. But let's find out if it's any good, and at the end of the video, I'll let you know if I'd buy it again. All right, welcome back, fellow fans of grocery store food. I am the grocery store dude, and a little backstory with this review today. So 2 years ago in November 2023, I wanted to review the cheapest frozen pizza that I could find, and at the time it was the No Name brand of pizzas. Fast forward to 2025 and I figured, you know what, I want to do a review of the cheapest pizza again, and to no surprise, No Name thin crust pizzas are still the cheapest frozen pizza that I could find at the grocery store, even cheaper than Walmart's Great Value thin crust pizza. But what was very surprising is that after 2 years, the price for this only went up by 1 cent. 2 years ago, this cost $3.49, and now it costs $3.50. Last time I reviewed the cheese version. This time we got the pepperoni version, and believe it or not, this is my first time trying the thin crust No Name pepperoni pizza, so I'm really excited to see how this tastes. All right, so here's the pizza. Now, if memory serves me correctly, and it doesn't always, when I reviewed this 2 years ago, I remember it tasted okay, but because of the price, I was like, you know what, I may get this again. Overall, it was just a very underwhelming pizza. Let's see how this one tastes. But first, let's get a close-up. So here we go. This is the thin crust pepperoni pizza. You know what, it's a very simple pizza. Tomato sauce, mozzarella cheese, and pepperoni. And I do have to say, visually, this looks like a pretty good pizza. I wouldn't be able to tell, at least by looking at it, that this is some cheap $3 pizza. And also too, here are the cooking instructions if you want to read that more carefully. I did cook this directly on the oven rack, and I transferred it to this pan here. And also here are the nutrition facts. And here are the ingredients. Again, feel free to go back and press pause if you want to read those more carefully. All right, enough yapping. Let's take a few bites of this pizza and I'll let you know what I think. All right, here we go. So here it is over here. Again, visually, it's looking pretty good, right? No Name thin crust pepperoni pizza. Cheapest pizza I could find. Cheapest frozen pizza I could find. $3.50 Canadian. Let's take a couple of bites. Okay. This is not a bland pizza. Very salty, very flavorful. That pepperoni has a very strong, nice, salty flavor. Let me try it on its own, actually. Here we go. Pepperoni. Yeah, it tastes like a pepperoni. Very salty, very meaty, has a nice peppery taste. Not necessarily a spicy taste, but it has a bit of a kick. Again, not spicy though. Let's take another bite. Yeah, and the cheese tastes fine too. I like the sauce. It's not too sweet, not too tomatoey. It tastes fine. And that crust, well, it tastes like a thin crust frozen pizza. So yeah, it's kind of like a breadstick type crust. It's not a flaky pastry, nice crust. Look, it tastes like a frozen pizza. All right, one more bite. Everyone knows the rules, and I'll give you my final thoughts. Okay, No Name thin crust pepperoni pizza. This is the cheapest frozen pizza I could find at the grocery store, costing $3.50 Canadian. 2 years ago, when I reviewed this, I was very underwhelmed and I was kind of lukewarm about whether I would get it again. I'm happy to report that this time the results are a lot better. I am way more impressed with this pizza. Here's the deal. Is this the best frozen pizza I've ever had? No. Not even close. But does it taste bad? Absolutely not. Does it taste good? Listen, it tastes good enough. This is a cheap frozen pizza that tastes like a cheap frozen pizza. And sometimes, you know what? You just want to save some money. Sometimes we've all been there. You just want a good old-fashioned, reliable struggle meal, if you want to put it that way. You just want some cheap frozen pizza that's going to fill you up. It's not gonna taste great, but it's not gonna taste bad. It's just gonna be a good, decent pizza that you can get for half the price of a regular frozen pizza. So honestly, This is good enough for me. If you follow this channel, you know I'm not a fancy guy. In fact, look, I'm filming here in my old apartment. So does it taste good? It tastes good enough. And would I buy this again for $3.50 Canadian in 2025? Absolutely, I would buy this again. All right, like and subscribe for more frozen pizza reviews. And until next time, enjoy these foods. In moderation, of course.